All right, so to begin this second question, what is my definition of success? I want to place it in the big picture. And this is how I like to teach. At the beginning of every session, or whenever I feel like we need to kind of zoom out of the details and get a sense of the big picture, I'm going to remind you of the forest so that you don't lose the forest for the trees. So on the screen, you are going to see a graphic. And this graphic is the big picture, okay, of this entire course. And along the top is the question that we are asking: what is everything about me pointing to? And in the center of this graphic is the light bulb, which says mission. And that is what you are seeking, right? That is what you are here to discover. And the way we are discovering that is by asking the 8 questions that surround this light bulb. And you'll notice that we have already answered the first question: what are my beliefs? That is at the very top. And let me take a moment here to encourage those of you who feel like you didn't get adequate answers to that question. You didn't get to finish processing what you believe about God, about scripture, about truth. Let me encourage you to not rush through that question and to take a little more time on it. Make sure you at least write down the questions that are still lingering in your mind or on top of your heart, and make sure you make the effort to go get the answers to those questions. Let me encourage you to first go to your parents, and then go to your pastors and your youth leaders and people around you who might be able to help you answer the questions that you have. Because, like I said, and this is not going to be the last time you hear it, your beliefs are the very core of who you are, okay? What you believe is definitely going to shape who you believe you are, and whoever you believe you are is going to determine what you want. And what we want is going to guide our thoughts, inform our thoughts, which will lead to feelings and emotions, and we ultimately act on those emotions, which are the actions that we take every day, the choices that we make every day. So I cannot overemphasize how important your beliefs are. Before you jump into this session, if you know that you're just rushing through this, make a mental note to go back to question 1 and take more time on it, and pull in somebody to go through it with you who can help to keep you accountable and to help keep you motivated to answer the questions about what you believe. Okay? All right, now in this session, I want to begin by transitioning to question 2 by actually finishing up question 1. So I don't know how many of you realized that I only covered the first page of the 3 pages from session 1. We only went through this page, but if you printed it out, you noticed that there are 2 more pages behind it, and I did not cover those in the first session. And that's because we're going to begin the session with these pages, which cover the doctrine of creation. And the big question I want to ask you here is, what do you believe about creation? And more specifically, do you believe you were created by God? Because if you do believe that you were created by God, that has implications according to what life is going to be about and what a successful life should be about. Okay? So with that, I'm going to pause here and let you go grab this sheet from session 1, and then come back and we'll dive into this together as we make the transition into the second critical question about success. Okay, now that you have this sheet in front of you, here's how I would like to go through this portion of this session. I want us to pretend that we are sitting at a coffee table at Starbucks. I have my grande hot vanilla latte with extra whipped cream, and you have your mocha frappuccino, or whatever your favorite drink is. And if you don't drink coffee, then pretend we're having boba or frozen yogurt, okay? And we are going to read this together as though we're sitting side by side looking at the text together. And I'm going to be having conversation about the ideas on this sheet, okay? And so to begin, I want to show you the book from this text. The excerpt was taken from this book by Paul David Tripp, and it is a great, accessible introduction to theology for those of you who are interested in learning the core Christian doctrines. Okay, so the worksheet was taken from the book. I just took excerpts from the chapter about the doctrine of creation. And the reason the doctrine of creation is so important that I needed to single it out is because if you believe you are created by God, then there are major implications for your life. And so with that, let's just dive in to the text and start reading it out loud, shall we?